What up, YouTube? It's Frisky Dingo here, getting back with you guys with another reaction/review video. Always remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment at the bottom of this video. If you guys want me to do any other topics, always let me know, and I'll always do some research and do the topic of said video. That being said, just wanted to do another update on the Herman Cain Awards. I basically ended up revisiting the Reddit page again, just to, gather some information on what's been happening recently when it comes to COVID patients. And unfortunately, the same process is still continuing. People are still using propaganda on Facebook, on social media to justify why they shouldn't be able to get a shot or have to or be able to go into businesses with the shot or a vaccine card. And I think that's just really crazy because, you would think, for a virus that's killed more people in a shorter period of time than the AIDS epidemic, you would think people will want to go out their way to actually get the proper protection so that they won't end up dying. So it's just really unfortunate. I just hope more people continue to try to use information and use research that's provided by medical peers and or people who are certified to speak when it comes to vaccines and whatnot. And I hope people will continue to outreach and do things like that, because honestly it's just really upsetting at this point. There's so much information available. I'm not saying that kids should automatically be stuck in the arm with a syringe, but what I'm also saying is that I'm a kid that had to get vaccines to go to school. When I was growing up, you had to get vaccines, and I was an athlete, so I had to still get vaccines, and I went overseas and I had to get vaccines. And it's just, to me, the conversation is just redundant at this point. We all know that, especially with a 1 in 100 year virus, we need this type of protection to make sure people live, especially with our country, because we deal with a lot of obesity and overweight people and people with preconditions and all these other things that cause problems when you get COVID. So when you track COVID. So hopefully, these people will try to help themselves. I remember in one of the posts, one guy literally had family members who were all doctors. He didn't get the vaccine. Another guy, his wife was a nurse. She had access to the vaccines. All the kids got the vaccinations, but he ended up dying. There was another post with a woman who worked at a bank. She basically took time off, but during that time period, she didn't go to get a vaccination. When she came back to work, happened to be that she ended up getting COVID from a place where she was eating lunch at, and she ended up dying. All of these people ended up dying, so it's just really unfortunate. There was another woman. She was about 31, 32, very healthy, said she never wanted to get COVID. She was physically fit, and then she didn't get the vaccine. She ended up attracting COVID, and then what ended up happening is that she basically was physically fit. She lost so much body weight because of COVID. She literally looked like a skeleton. It was crazy to see. Then you have just more and more stories of people who were loved, cherished by their families, and then sadly taken away because of propaganda, memes, and the internet. And that's one thing I really don't like, especially with a lot of these political people. They're starting to they've been using COVID as an advocation for political views. Now that's a problem, because then people are taking that information from a politician who's neither a doctor, neither a physician, neither a scientist, and then going with that automatically. And I think that's wrong. It's the same thing I see with, when people talk about other topics. It's very unfortunate. You ask that person, hey, okay, understanding what's the definition of RNA, and they couldn't even tell you what RNA is, but yet they believe that the vaccine is going to cause adverse defects on you. Once again, it's not saying that those things don't happen, but the reality is that anything you take, it'd be polio, right? For a perfect example, to cure polio, you needed penicillin. Do you know that over 1 million Americans are allergic to penicillin and need an alternative antibiotic when they do get sick or have to go through a sickness? So that in itself lets you know. When penicillin first came out, you didn't think there was people like, oh, don't take penicillin. It's going to cause you to, have effects and things like that. And it still happens today. People take penicillin, they're not able to handle it, and that's it. So hopefully we get some type of change in the near future. It's just unfortunate to see people end up dying because of not taking a vaccination. But more importantly, it's really bad to see people die based off of information and memes off of Facebook. I think that's unfortunate. And just overall, and just the process of itself, people getting sick like that is just bad. So hopefully we find out more news about the Herman Cain Award. We get better updates from it. But other than that, I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.